Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Jetty Jet Show. We're going to be doing the side view today, cover the skeleton. Are you ready to level up? Before we do that, if you haven't already, check out the front view to see how I created this rubric. I'll put the link below. It's all in there. I've drawn it several times, probably every time I cover the figure. But this time I'll just briefly break it down and just read them over. So if it seems like I'm moving a little fast, you should go back to the male figure, front, side, back, and then the female front, then this. At that point, you should be able to do the complete 8 heads rubric from memory. This is one of the requirements to make this all work. So for beginners, practicing the rubric alone will be very helpful. Now by no means is this model perfect. It's a basic rubric I follow, and I rarely hit the exact measurements when drawing. So in the end, you decide where you want the landmarks to land. Landmarks are all these points that the body parts meet. And they're slightly different from person to person, so again, these are only guides that you can modify. And before I go on, let me just say, I'm using Manga Studio 5 debut and Wacom Intuos 4 for those who are wondering. But that's totally besides the point. This is a drawing demo and not a software demo. Now of course you gotta start off with the box, 8 head divisions for 8 heads proportion. Just gonna go over the main points first. 8 is the top of the head, 7 is the chin, 6 is the nipples, 5 is the navel, 4 is the midpoint. It is also the base of the pelvis. Number 3 is the middle of the thigh, 2 is bottom of the knees, and 1 is the middle of the shin. Alright, so the points that fall in between the main points are the shoulders, 1/3 down from number 7, the armpit, 1/3 up from number 6, the base of the breast, 1/3 down from number 6, the elbow and the waist fall 1/4 up from the 5th line. The peak of the pelvis bone is 1/3 down from the 5th. Now in this video I've modified some things to make it more simple. Those points are where the nipples line up, the navel, and the crotch. For the nipples, last time I had it set 1/6 down from the 6th line. And that's generally true, but let's just keep it at 6. For the navel I had it 1/6 down from number 5. I'm just going to keep it at number 5. Now for the crotch, I had it 1/3 down from the midpoint, but I've changed it to 1/4 down. And that's because after reviewing the Andrew Loomis book, he was changing it up a bit. Like in one picture it was 1/3 down, like way down here, and in another picture it was like 1/6 down. So I just kind of, put it right there in between, 1/4-ish. Again, it's up to you. And I've made one correction. That is the angle of the ankle. This was pointed out by one of our viewers. Thank you so much. I had it going the opposite way. If you notice, I had the ankle going this way. It actually goes the other way. So the outer ankle is actually lower than the inner ankle. Alright, now that's out of the way. Let's begin drawing the side view of the skeleton for the female. First one to do is draw the skull, and the skull is actually a box. Symmetrical square from the side. Unlike the front view is just a rectangle like that. Let's draw her facing this way. So for the ribs, 1/3 down are the shoulders. So we're going to draw an oval shape, slightly tilted. Now this is semi-stylistic, stylistic preference for me. The rib cage can be a little bit longer, but since she's a female, I like to make it slightly smaller. Alright, so a slanted oval, and now the pelvis. So the pelvis, draw a circle right there. Again, following our rubric, the top of the pelvis should be there, and then the base should be there. It's a basic circle shape. Doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to line up perfectly either. Alright, so we've laid our foundation down. Let's begin breaking down the forms. For the skull, I like to just round off the box like this. Alright, so the box will start making sense. Why it's so symmetrical. Because we need space for the back of our head so that we can have a brain. So this part comes down like this. And this notch right here is about 1/3 up. It stops right there. And bring it down, connect it to the back like that. And then the jawline come up and stop just right about where the notch lines up the back of the head. Now I want to keep this a skeleton video, but I can draw the ear now. So the ear falls behind that line. And by skeleton, we're talking about a basic kind of figure that we have underneath our main muscles. So it's not an actual skeleton. So for the neck structure, we're going to have this attaching right here, come down, and we're going to cut this part right here off like this. So you're going to come out this way and come down. You're going to go back this way like this. Alright, we're going to attach the ribs with the pelvis, coming down like this, with the lower spine structure. Alright, for the thigh bone, we're going to draw just along the center line like this. Alright, you can just draw a straight line like that, and then give it some width. Okay, come out, and then do this shape here, a little point, come out, go down, and it crosses right through the middle. So we're going to do a slight S, come out this way, and point out this way like this. Now we're going to draw the knee bone, or the patella, like this, pointing down, so at an angle like this. Alright, for the shin bone, it comes out of the center line and it follows this S shape here like this. Comes out all the way up and then back here like this. And land right there, just behind this line. Okay? You're going to give it a wedge like this, and give this some width. Width like this. Alright, so you can also draw these bones just starting off with just one simple line like this, and then it comes out like this, and then start to build off of that like that. So the pectoral should line up right here around the nipples, come out this way, and back. So it passes the center line right there, bow. Alright, so before we start the arm, I think I've made a boo-boo. So let's fix the boo-boo. Fingertips should let's just have it line up with the third line. So line number 3 falls with the middle of the thighs as well as the fingertips. So we're just going to simplify it a bit more. Alright, so starting from up here, come down at an angle. We're going to have arm slightly bent, just with a straight line, and we're just going to come back down this way. Make sure you stop right there where we labeled 1/4 elbow. Come back down this way. And I've added something, so 1/6 down from number 4 is the wrist. You just come down again for the hand. Some really simple lines. So we're just going to give it some width now. One side here, and then the other side here like this. And you can leave the elbow connected. You don't have to draw the bones separate. Just come back down right here like this, and then like this. Now the width of the bone doesn't have to be exactly 1, 2 like that. It can just sometimes like right here, the bone, it's not quite centered. For the hand, we're just going to draw a basic box like this. So since her arm was bent, as you can see, the fingers didn't line up exactly with number 3. That's okay. We just put it as 1/6, the neck bone. Straighten it out a little bit. Come out this way. I'm going to modify the shapes and erase some of the guidelines. Don't mind if I go Super Saiyan mode time. So let's do a little breakdown review of everything. The head from the side is a square. People tend to draw the head as a rectangle, beginners anyway, tend to draw the head as a rectangle from the side. That's a no-no, rectangle, no-no. The ear falls right behind that center line. The neck is at an angle. The ribs come at an angle, so like a slanted oval shape. Pelvis is a circle. Remember to follow the guide points. And for the limbs, remember, you can just simplify it just by drawing lines. For the thigh bone, it's this big S like this, comes out of the center line and back through it, and then it follows through with this C shape like this. For the pectoral muscle, come from the 6th line, coming up, crossing the middle, and wrapping over the shoulder. Don't forget the patella. And remember, the patella is at an angle like this, so the knee points downward. And those really are all the points that you need to know in order to draw the figure sideways. Alright? So we'll do all the muscle tissue and all that stuff in our next figure drawing video. If you want to see the reference picture, I'll have all the links below. So keep practicing. Do this at least 10 times or as many times it takes for you to do this by memory. And don't give up. I know you guys can do it. I hope you guys found this helpful. Please subscribe and like if you haven't already. My name is Jet. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, peace.